Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was Treated Like Gaara. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, if you're new, remember to stick around for the rest of what ifs coming your way over an Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, I did have 3 channels, and making 2 and making 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. And remember to go ahead and turn on that bell notification so you can see exactly when I post. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Haruka took up arms against Naruto, seeing that Naruto had obliterated Sasuke within seconds, like he wasn't even important, shocking the kids, as they knew that he was a Uchiha. Uchihas were said to be powerful than the rest, but yet, Naruto treated him like he was nothing, the way he defeated him that easily. So Haruka attacked Naruto, and even with just pure taijutsu, Naruto was able to break a few of his ribs. He then bashed into Haruka's chest, causing the man unnatural pain. As the students, Kiba, and a few others are rather angry that he beat up the sensei even though he was wounded, as Naruto warned them to do not make trouble around him, because if they do, he would kill them all. They were afraid, really afraid. Look in his eyes, he was not joking around. Some time passed as Naruto finally went through the academy. Him and Hinata had stayed friends, as she was the only friend that he had there. He didn't really like anyone else. As it was time for their tests, as Naruto noticed it was again jutsu over his paper, he thought it was a part of a test, but when the test was over, Hinata told him that it was not as she saw it, as she had looked on everyone else's paper and they didn't have a genjutsu over theirs. As Naruto realized they were trying to fail him, but they would not succeed. Shino came upon the roof as he apologized for interrupting, but Naruto told him that it was fine, as Shino had never talked to him before, but Shino said that they just didn't have anything to talk about. As he stayed up there on the roof with them until they were called back, they were brought her on the back for their taijutsu section. Hinata faced off against Ino as she knocked her down rather quickly. As Naruto and Sasuke were at the top, Naruto defeated Sasuke once again without even hesitating, as Sasuke was just not on his level. Shino absolutely obliterated a boy that he was supposed to face off against. It seems like Haruka misjudged Shino's strength level. So with that, they were sent to the room where they were supposed to do Kuna and throw-in, and not to mention substitution. Naruto's test was a bit different, seeing that Mizuki was trying to hit him, and Naruto was supposed to substitute before he could get hit, but Naruto switched places with Mizuki, as the man got pelted. It didn't take long for him to get his head banned, as he passed. As he greeted Shino and Hinata afterwards, he didn't feel like going home though. As he made his way, when he saw the scroll of sealing, someone was trying to steal it. He knocked out said person as he sat down and started to jot down many things in the scroll, learning a few of the jutsus. One of them being Shred Clone Jutsu, a lot better than normal, standard clone jutsu. He jotted them down as Haruka appeared out there. Mizuki also woke up as well as he tried to attack Naruto. Well, that was a big mistake, as the day finally came to an end. The next day started with Anko demanding that she want the team consist of Naruto, Shino, and Hinata. as she was watching them while they were at the academy. As the girl might look gentle, but she believed that she could make a little killer out of her, as Kurona told her that Hinata was not that way, but Uncle saw it different though. So with that, the team selections were made, and Naruto and Shino and Hinata were put on one team, as Naruto was surprised. He thought that with his luck he wouldn't get what he wanted, but he actually did. So with that, they made their way as Uncle gave them a test, as each of them had a hunter clone. So they did as they were told. Each of them were able to defeat her clone as they came back, as she brought them all towards the Forest of Death and told them, for the next 2 months they will train in here, so she could get them ready for what is to come. So yeah guys, as basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself, and also remember to go ahead and check out Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, that is correct, I indeed have 3 channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that subscribe button, and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below, tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking about all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get right into this? Relax, said Uncle as she saw her students looking around. The really dangerous stuff don't come out until night. As they all stood in the Forest of Death. Right now you just have to worry about giant bugs and plants. As she came to a stop when she felt they were a good distance into the forest. I want all of you to climb those trees and stand upside down on a branch. Oh, Hinata and Shino, go and change in your weight. Oh, and keep your coats off. I don't need you to pass out. Shino nodded as he made his way towards the opposite direction to go and change. Hinata stopped as she looked like she was about to say something, but Uncle cut her off. You're a kunoichi now, and regardless how you feel about your body, at some point you will be required to show it off to complete a mission. I am just making sure you'll be ready for that, princess. Now go change and keep the coat off. Hinata sighed. She made her way as Uncle turned towards Naruto. That goes for you as well, Blondie. As Naruto pulled off his jacket and his black t-shirt, leaving him in his chain mail t-shirt. As she pointed upwards, as Naruto walked up the tree and stood upside down. I want you to spar with my clone, and no use in the Kyuubi's chakra, Uncle said, as she created a clone as he ran up the tree. As the clone struck at him as Naruto moved back to gain some space, only for him to fall on the ground. Uncle smirked as a blonde glare at his own stupidity. As Hinata and Shino came back, as they wear their chain mail tops, along with the weight, it was obviously that their movements were sluggish. Hinata was blushing rather badly, trying to cover her exposed stomach with her arms. She looked ready to faint from showing so much skin. Oh yeah, Uncle said, you need to be in contact with the tree at all times, otherwise you'll fall to the ground. That's the whole point of being able to fight upside down on a branch. You'll be fighting with my clones until you can last for a good 20 minutes straight. As she created 2 more clones for Shino and Hinata. Time skip. 4 days later. 1 hour. Well, that's impressive. Most Chunin cannot get these results. Although, my standards are rather high for you 3, so I'm not that surprised, Uncle said. As she watched her students fight her clones. Just as she was about to call them down, Hinata landed a fatal blow on the clone, as the thing dispersed. As Shino and Naruto seeing this increased their pressure, as they both dispelled the clones as well. They all then dropped down towards where Uncle was. Alright, now that that is out of the way, it's time to work on your teamwork. As she pulled out a scroll and unsealed a crate. Inside the crate was metal rings. The rings were about the size of a wristband, as they had 3 straps on them. She gestured for them to come over, as she tied each strap around one of their waists. Now, under no circumstances will I remove this until the end of 2 weeks, so keep each other alive. Naruto, you can't use the Kyuubi's chakra. Shino, no manipulating the native insects, and Hinata, no Byakugan. No, to make things a lot harder, she said as she went through hand signs. As she summoned a bunch of small snakes, while she was on top of a rather larger one. Eat them, she said. The 3 Genins' eyes widened. As the snakes launched towards them in the group, they jumped away, but the snakes were so locked they fall on a few of the snakes as they lost their balance. Screw this, said Naruto as he reached out and grabbed both Shino and Hinata as he flashed away with them in the sunshine. As Uncle chuckled, The hunt was gonna be fun. Time skip. I'm going to kill her, said Naruto. As the three of them are currently resting behind a rather large tree. I also think that our sensei methods of training is rather eccentric, said Shino. I think Uncle Sensei mean well, said Hinata, as she was trying to calm her teammates down. Just as she said that though, a giant snake came out of nowhere as it started to hiss at them. Naruto pulled out his trench knife and slashed at the tree with wind chakra as the tree fell over, crushing the snake as they move. I suggest we form a plan, said Shino, as they crept along the forest floor. That would be for the best, said Hinata, as they heard growling, as giant lions came from the forest. Here's the plan, said Naruto. We stop running and kill these simple animals. Shino pulled out 2 pair of kunais as Hinata dropped in the Jayugen stance. As Naruto started to add chakra to his trench knives, one of the lions leaped towards Shino ferociously, but the bug user was ready. As he launched the kunai, forced the lion to leap over to his side so it wouldn't get stabbed right in the face. As Naruto was over to his side, slash! He tore the thing's stomach wide open as it collapsed. But that left him rather exposed to another one, as it launched towards him, but Hinata was in striking distance as she struck it right in the face, knocking the thing away. Duck, said Naruto, as the both of them did, as Naruto added more wind chakra and spin. Furious slashes came from his trench knife as he gutted the rest of the lions, ending them. Finally, the voice of Uncle could be heard as she jumped down. I thought you brats would run forever. Now, you just need to get so familiar with each other that you don't even have to speak. Uncle summoned multiple snakes once again and ordered them to attack the kids. She laughed. Have fun, she said. She jumped away. I'll kill her slowly, said Naruto. Shino, watch out, he said, as a snake launched right towards him, as Hinata struck it. As Shino tossed a kunai as it flew past her and stuck in the head of one of the snakes behind her, as the 2 bodies poofed away, as they fought snakes. By the time they were done, well, Hinata was patching up their wounds, as they had managed to get bitten, seeing that certain things, their abilities were limited because of their sensei. Once she was done, as Naruto's stomach started to grumble, we need to go hunt for food, said Hinata, as the blonde placed a hand on his stomach. The sky darkened as they weren't able to find anything as they kept on searching and searching until they hit the mother lode, a giant deer. As Naruto gave the 2 a nod as he went out in the clearing, the deer looked towards them. As Naruto smiled, it was Strike, as the other 2 hit it with kunai while its focus was on Naruto. Larger than I expected, said Naruto. Time skip. 13 days later. Well, tonight, Uncle will finally release us from these bindings. But there are still around 100 of those snakes left. I say we go and kill them all, said Naruto. May I inquire why, asked Shino. I still have a bone to pick with those walking purses, and I want to see their blood all over the forest floor, said Naruto. I think it would be a good test for our teamwork, Shino-kun, said Hinata. Shino sighed as he just nodded. As they moved towards the snake pit, this area of the forest was where the snakes resided when they weren't searching for the Genins. It was kind of a trench. It seems like someone was training with Earth Jutsu a long time ago and roughed it out. The snakes all resided down there. As Naruto was getting rather pissed off, the 2 placed a hand on his shoulder. You will get your opportunity, Naruto. Damn right I will, said Naruto, as he looked towards a massive king cobra. The damn thing had the nerve to swallow him and spit him out like he was rotten. I'll annihilate that overgrown pest. Everyone, prepare yourself. Once we begin, there will be no chance to escape, said Shino. Naruto's eyes flashed red as he took in a breath. He then roared. The monstrous roar echoed all the way through Konoha, scaring many people as it was loud. The snakes turned towards them and moved. As the group moved and slaughtered any snakes that passed their path. When someone was left open, another snake jumped in the way and covered their flank without hesitation. Their attacks flowed around each other like the group was made of water. No words were spoken, just like what Uncle wanted. The dance of death continued for over an hour, until the last snake that was left was a cobra. As Naruto glared at the snake, he changed the wind chucked her off the blade to the Kyuubi's chakra and smashed it against the metal ring. It shattered like glass. As Naruto launched himself towards the snake, the snake opened its mouth wide as it unhinged its jaws to swallow him whole. But Naruto twists as he was now above the thing. Too easy, he says. He brought his fist down, but the tail slapped him out of mid-air as Naruto flipped and landed. No, it's not, boy. The group was rather surprised as the snake hissed at him. But Naruto did not care as he leaped forward only for, that's enough. He landed on the branch as Anko emerged. Flawless teamwork, Brat, she said, with a happy smirk on her face. But one question, Brat. I know it goes against my training, but if you knew you could break the ring, why didn't you do it earlier? Anko asked. As Naruto shrugged. I didn't think of it until now, as that made everyone's sweat drop, including the snake. Enough talk, said Naruto. I have a snake to skin. The training is over, Anko said. Well, for now. Unless training, the snakes are your ally. Got that, she said. Besides, Sheena here is far stronger than all but two snakes, Manda, and her older brother, Deku. Thank you, Sheena, once again, said Uncle. Of course, Mistress, Sheena said as she poofed away. Well, you all look like shit, and Shino's got a new blade, as Shino had a bow staff that he had created in here. How about you, Hinata? Need a blade, she asks. Do you think I need one, Uncle Sensei? Well, Princess, it's up to you. Besides, come here, she said, as she whispered something to her. Hinata nodded. Alright, kids. Mommy Uncle is gonna run a few errands, but she will be back at the end of this month. Until then, as she tossed them scrolls, you have those to study and work on. I expect them each to be complete a month and a half away from now. If they're not done by then, we will be reviewing the teamwork drill, but that time, you will be blindfolded, and you will not leave this forest until those scrolls are completed. Oh, if you need my advice or help, just open one of these, and I'll be here. As she tossed them 3 more scrolls. They're to master your elemental affinities. Just the first step, and a few jutsus that will help you along the way. As she waved goodbye and vanished, they opened the scrolls as more scrolls popped out of them. Her methods are, said Shino, as Naruto finished for him. Insane, absurd, ludicrous. Oddly proficient, said Shino. How so? Said Naruto. Most likely, none of the other genuine squads are improving as us, and it's due to Uncle Sensei erratic training schedule, said Shino. Naruto shrugged as he looked at the first step. It had something to do with a leaf. Time skip. The Hokage was surprised as 4 sunshine appeared in his office. There was a standard leaf sunshine, and behind that there was a column of flame that rose up from nothing. To the left of that, insects rose up as they formed into the shape of a human. And to the other side, mist swirled slowly into a human. As Harrison was shocked, Uncle and Team 8 reported in for our first mission, Hokage-sama. Uncle said that smirk on her face. Behind her, Naruto stood with his arms crossed. His hood was up, making it rather impossible to see his face. He was no longer wearing his tan jacket. He wore a loose black t-shirt with a long sleeve green forest t-shirt underneath. The sleeves of the green shirt was long enough to cover his arms up to his fingertips. He wore baggy black cargo pants with spots of green on them. Shino was wearing his headband around his waist as he used it as a belt for his pants, as he was wearing a dark green mask that went from inside his shirt up to the bridge of his nose, similar to Kakashi's mask. Strapped to his back was a flat metal bow staff. His hands were pocketed. But what surprised Harrison the most was Hinata's outfit. The once shy Hyuga who wore a jacket to hide most of herself. She was now wearing a crop, form-fitted, dark purple v-neck. It was dipped so low that her black chain mesh that she was wearing underneath was visible, as she was wearing 2 identical charm bracelets. As the crop top was high enough that most of her stomach was visible, 2 weapon pouches were tied to each of her thighs, as she wore spandex capris. Strapped to her back was a bow, with a quiver filled with arrows as well. She still looked a bit nervous, but Naruto could see that the girl had changed a lot. as Sarutobi turns attention towards Uncle. Well, that was an unexpected move, Uncle. Taking your team into the forest as their first day of Jennings. For a moment, we thought you got them killed and then disappear, so you wouldn't have to face your mistakes, Sarutobi said, with a small smirk on his face. I knew that my brats were good enough to survive in the forest, Hokage-sama. Our hope, Uncle said, as she laughed nervously at the end. Well, now I was saying, we need a mission, she said, and no D ranks. After their training, D ranks would be an insult. Uncle, I can't honestly say I would approve of giving a Genin team a C rank for their first mission. Hokage-sama, they spent 2 months in the Forest of Death, and for the first month the place was crawling with my snake summons. They could handle B or A rank missions right now. Uncle, Genins are expected to perform D ranks. I even had my team perform more than 50 before taking on anything serious. He was about to say something else until a dog leaped and landed on his decks. Back on, said Sarutobi, a bit surprised, as he knew the summon, as the pup handed Sarutobi a scroll. As he read it, a grim look came on his face. He nodded at Pakon. He glanced back up toward the team as he seemed to think it over for a second. Well, it seems I do have a B rank for your team here, he said. Kakashi and his team was sent on a C rank escort, but it turns out their client lied, and ninjas were after him. I want you to go to Wave Country and provide backup for Team 7 and guard the Master Bridge Builder. But I also have a unwrap A rank mission. I want you to assassinate the man responsible, the shipping magnate Gato. If anyone asks, this mission doesn't exist. Do you understand that, he said, as he was serious. The group nodded as they exited the same way that they entered. Time skip. Uncle moved through the trees as her team was behind her, as she doubled her speed, but they did not drop in the slightest, as that made her rather proud. At this pace, we'll make it to the wave before nightfall. Time skip. This is the house, Uncle Sensei. Kakashi-san is upstairs while his team is downstairs, with 3 others, said Hinata, as Team 8 stood in front of a large house on the coast. As Uncle made her way and knock, they didn't have to wait long as Sakura opened the door. Who are you? Team 8. We were sent on a mission to support your team and protect the bridge builder, Uncle said. Oh, okay, said Sakura as she opened the door, letting him in. She neglected to ask for identification to make sure that we were who we were, said Chino. As Uncle wondered, did Kakashi forget to go over that kind of stuff? Upon entering the team, they draw the attention of everyone present. Who are you? Said Sasuke, as he couldn't recognize the group because of their drastic wardrobe changes. But Sasuke was answered by Sakura. Sasuke-kun, this is Team 8 and they're here to back us up. We don't need backup. I certainly don't. They will just get in my way, said Sasuke with a rather arrogant tone. Wait, Team 8? Isn't that the team with Naruto, Shino and Hinata? Kiba said, confused as he focused. It was her. As he looked at Hinata's shock, she started to get uncomfortable by his gaze as she slipped behind her 2 teammates. Watch your eyes, mutt. Before I remove them, said Naruto, as his eyes flashed red under his hood. There was a low buzzing coming from Shino. I have every right to look. You and your bug boy can back off. She doesn't want you looking. Be thankful. We're on a mission, or I would kill you right now. As Naruto raised his killer intent, but Kiba did not back down. I felt worse killer intent. Right now yours feel pathetic. Before Naruto could make him drop to his knees by releasing the full brunt of his killer intent, Hinata placed a hand on his shoulder. And she knows as well before she stepped forward. She got rather close, surprising Kiba, who thought that she was coming on to him. But instead she pushed him and placed a kunai at his throat, shocking him. I'll tell you this once, Kiba-san. Don't ever look at me like that again, or I'll make you regret it. Also, if you insult my teammates again, I'll make you wish you were never born. Kiba gulped in fear as he nodded, shocked. This couldn't be the Hinata that he once knew. No, it just couldn't. As Uncle grinned in delight seeing that. Alright, let's go talk to Kakashi, Uncle said. Kakashi waited as he saw Team 8 enter his room, along with his own team. The infamous Kakashi Hatake. Look at the state you've been reduced to. It seems someone has been slacking on their training, Uncle said. Uncle, it's been a while, but last time I checked you're still a special Jonin, so try and respect your superiors, said Kakashi. Wrong, Kakashi. I was promoted to full Jonins once the brats passed. Hokage-sama said that he had been mean to promote me for a while now, but there was no real opportunity until I took on my team. So we've been equals for quite some time now. But enough joking around. What's your status, she said as she became serious. Well, as you can see, other than me, everyone is relatively fine. Kiba Ninken is also hurt though, and he won't be able to aid us at all. We encountered the missing nin Zabuza Momokai, and I was forced to use my Sharingan to defeat him. But I believe he's still alive, and that he will be in fighting condition in about a week, said Kakashi. I see. Will you be able to fight by then? As Kakashi nodded. Well, since you're the more seasoned Jonin, what do you suggest that we do? Well, I think it will be best if we make sure that Genins are prepared. Zabuza has an accomplice that is most likely skilled enough to challenge them. As they took the crutches as the group made their way outside, towards a small clearing. Today we're going to learn how to climb trees, said Kakashi. That's easy, Kakashi-sensei, said Kiba. Without your hands, Kakashi said, as he saw that both teams were stunned. But Team 8 was shocked for a different reason though. As Kakashi walked up the tree and stood, upside down on the branch. You accomplished this by adding chalk to your feet to stick to the branch. Kakashi, you're telling me that you have not taught your team tree walking yet you took them on a C rank. What have you been doing for the past 2 months? Uncle asked in surprise and confusion. I had them working on teamwork and D rank, and there wasn't much time to do anything else, said Kakashi. And that's why we didn't do D ranks. Why waste valuable training time with simple chores? Well, from what you're saying, I suggest that your team know how to do it. As Uncle nodded. Well then, your Jenny can go ahead and protect Tazuna on the bridge. Nope. No chance in hell is my team gonna babysit some old fart while your team train. Besides, our mission is to back you guys up, not protect the old man. You and I will be guarding him alone while my brats train too. As she tossed her team's 3 scrolls as she fished out of her jacket, and tossed one to each of them. Naruto, make a clone if there's any trouble. It will alert you 3. And you can get Team 7 report to us. As Naruto nodded and create a clone while Uncle create a clone as well. My clone will give you guys instructions, now go. As Team 8 made their way with Uncle. Alright, last time, the original gave you brats. The first step to elemental affinity, mastery, and some offensive jutsu. She also gave Shino and Hinata a clan jutsu each with the consent of their clan. Naruto, she gave you a jutsu that she feel would be beneficial to you. But since we don't have enough time like we had before, she gave you all the elemental defensive jutsu each. You two got a defense jutsu from your clans, while Naruto, you got a defense unique jutsu. You have a week to get these down, she said, with a smirk. As the team sighed. About 10 minutes in, you know, it's not kind to spy on people, said the clone as she watched her students train. As the members of Team 7 came out of the bushes. As Sasuke was the one to speak. If you 3 aren't learning tree walking, then what are you doing? They're learning jutsus, the clone said. Teach them to us, said Sasuke. It was more like a demand. Uchiha, you lack the chakra control to pull these off, but even if you did, I wouldn't show you any of them. Now go back to climbing your tree before I crack your skull against one. Is that a threat? Sasuke asked, as he stepped forward, just a few steps away from Naruto. It's a promise, said Naruto, as he vanished and reappeared behind Sasuke, shocking him by the speed. As Sakura walked forward, don't hurt, she was flipped as she hit the ground, as Hinata rested her palm on Sakura's back. Don't attempt to hit Naruto-kun, please, she said. Her voice sounded too sweet for the situation. I suggest that you 3 leave, Shino said as he pushed up his shades. As they were released, Sasuke walked away with a huff as Sakura followed behind him, but Kiba didn't move. As they looked at him, I have something to ask Hinata in private, said Kiba. Whatever you want to ask, you can ask in front of my teammate, she said. As he shrugged, well, I was wondering if you want to go out after this mission, he said. As she glanced towards her team, their looks were indifferent. The moment she turned back, she saw Kiba glaring at her. his eyes checking out every part of her. He did not even notice as she turned back her head. She calmly made her way towards him as she leaned, surprising him. She whispered in his ear, "Kiba, I would." If he would have taken notice of the Ongo clone, you'd have noticed it was trying its best not to laugh its ass off. Before Kiba could react, a knee drilled right in his solar plexus. "Never go out with a perv like you," she said. "Naruto-kun, would you be so nice to help Kiba-san back to his team, please?" she said. A chakra arm was created from Naruto's real arm, as he grabbed Kiba as it pulled him closer. I may not know much about females in Izaka, but my advice, when you ask them out, try to look at their eyes and not anywhere else. As he threw Kiba, there was a loud crash and whimpering of pain. As much entertaining as that was, get back to training, Uncle said. Team 8 returned, nightfall. As they made their way, when they entered, Kakashi asked, "May I ask, why did you injure my student, Naruto?" said Kakashi, as Kiba's arm was in a sling. As Naruto ignored the man and turned towards Uncle, "Sensei, do you think—" "Jenny, I was talking to you. Uncle, you might want to teach your students some manners," said Kakashi. "Now I'll ask again. Why did you hurt my student?" As Naruto slowly turned towards him, "Because I felt like it," he said. "Then I'll inform the Hokage and he can place a fitting punishment for injuring a comrade during the mission." As Naruto shrugged, he reeled in a tear. "I know that Kiba is injured, you have jeopardized our mission. Actually, I might be capable of fixing Kiba's wound," said Shino. "During our training in the forest, I work on multiple healing technique and the human body while resting. I have mastered a limited number of them, but they should still suffice." "Medical ninjutsu? Dude, that's girly stuff," said Kiba. As Kiba started to laugh as Shino walked over, his hands glowed blue. He tapped Kiba, confusing him as he could no longer talk. As everyone looked towards him surprised, "Chakra suppressing vocal cords," said Shino as his hands glowed green this time, as he reset the broken bone and restored it, which was rather painful. As Kiba screamed, but there was nothing coming out until Shino gave him back the ability, which would wear off in some time, but he could do it back a lot quicker. "It's fixed. All he needs now is some rest." The rest of the week went by without an incident, as the teams did not really interact with each other. As they were making their way, they had discussed their plans last night. "You know, if we don't end this with a drama, the unit will suffer," said Kakashi. "Our unit is fine. They will just slow us down," said Sasuke. "Watch your mouth, Uchiha. Shino might handle your loose lips, just like how he did the Inuzaka." "That weirdo got lucky. He wouldn't touch me in a straight fight," said Kiba. "Shinobi encounters are not really straight fights, as you put it," said Shino. "So you admit you can't beat me," said Kiba. As Shino simply ignored him, they arrived to the bridge as they started to see people with Senma needles all over them, and not to mention mists all over the bridge. "There are 4 ninjas heading further up the bridge," said Hinata. "Alright, Sakura, Hinata, and Shino protect the bridge builder. I and Uncle will handle Zabuza and what I assume is Demon Brothers. Sasuke, Kiba, Naruto, you guys take on the fake Hunter Ninja." But Uncle interjected, "I think it will be better if Hinata and Shino handle Demon Brothers, while I help you finish off Zabuza. Also, Naruto can handle the masked kid, while the others guard Tazuna," Uncle said. As Kakashi was about to argue, but he realized that she would not give. "Fine, we'll go with Uncle's suggestions." "Enough of this mist," said Naruto, as he released chakra, a lot of it, and blew away the mist. Kakashi was surprised that he was completely fine after that. Well. Now this is interesting. You must have chakra in spades, kid, if you're able to stand after blowing away all my mist like that," said Zabuza as there was a grin on his face, even though he had bandage around his mouth. "You're not going to get away this time," said Kakashi, ignoring the statement that he made. "I don't plan on running. Now enough talking. Let's get down to business." As Zabuza created 5 clones, but the 5 of them were ripped clean through with chakra tails. The clones were shocked as Naruto stood in the center now, as they turned into water, bursting. "Well, it seems he might be as fast as you, Haku," said Zabuza as he turned towards a masked Hunter Ninja. "I doubt it," the voice behind them said. "I'm faster." Haku turned as a foot slam into his stomach, launching him away. As Uncle charged forward, but she was stopped by Miyaizo and Gozu. But Shino appeared and slammed his staff on Miyaizo's head as Gozu turned with his claw to slash Shino, but an arrow knocked his gauntlet away. As Hinata fired another, he leaped back but it tear into his shoulder. He cursed, damn it, as he ripped it out. As Uncle charged forward, as the place was wide open as Kakashi was right behind her, over to the other side of the bridge. Your speed is impressive, Haku said. As Naruto stood there, Haku leaped in the air and launched Senbon towards Naruto. But Naruto was gone. Haku predicted the move and launched Senbons behind him, but Naruto destroyed them with his trench knife. Sasuke leaped in the air seeing Haku about to fall, but Haku dodged a fist and backhanded Sasuke. Sasuke flipped and landed. You also wish to fight me, Haku said. Don't take your eyes off me. Haku turned, bam! A vicious feet to the face slammed him into the bridge before he was kicked in the stomach and launched. Haku thrust his hands on the bridge as he leaped over the wind slash that tore into the bridge. Interesting. You can channel your wind affinity into your blades and use them as slashes. As Naruto did not respond and Sasuke shot forward, but Haku blocked the punch. You were too slow. Sasuke growled and gripped Haku's forearm, but Haku twists as he stabbed Sasuke 3 times in the stomach with his arm. Sasuke grunting at the points, hitting him before he elbowed Sasuke backwards. But that left him wide open as a foot slammed into his stomach once again. This time the force was much more stronger as Haku doubled over in pain as he started to cough under his mask. But Naruto did not give him time to recover as his feet cracked in Haku's face, shattering the mask completely. Naruto delivered 5 hits to his stomachs as blood leaked from Haku's mouth before Naruto slammed his knee into Haku's face. A cracking sound could be heard as Haku was thrown back, puking out blood. Blood was also leaking from his nose. Haku was panting as he quickly flashed through Hansan as water rose up. As Naruto and Sasuke found themselves trapped, ice mirrors all around them. I'm sorry, but you will die here, Haku said, seeing no other chance but to use this technique. Meanwhile, Miyaizo, these bunch of kids think they stand a chance against us, Gozu said. As Hinata and Shino stood there. You're right, brother. Let's show them how wrong they truly are. As they connected the chain between them and charged forward towards the kids. Hinata jumped back and released her arrow. The arrow struck the chain, breaking it instantly as it hit the smallest loop. They did not even realize who they were fighting, a Byakugan user that had arrows. They continued their charge though. Instead of using each other, they decided to go at it with one-on-one. Shino ducked under the first blow as a claw whipped over his head. He brought up his bow staff and slammed it under Miyaizo's chin. He used the other end to slam it in Gozu's face. Before either of them could recover, 2 arrows pierced them right through the center of their eyes. That was peculiar. I expected 2 Chunin 11 ninjas to be more of a challenge, said Shino, but the bodies burst as they turned into water. The brothers were behind him, rushing towards Hinata. Shino slammed his bow staff in the ground as he went to Hansan, as a lance of earth came around it, as he created a spear of earth on the end. They had connected their chain once again as Hinata was ready for them, but Shino launched his spear as it stabbed into the center. The both of them were stuck. As that split second, Hinata appeared in front of Miyaizo and delivered some swift blows. The brother cried out in agony as he collapsed to the floor. Hinata pulled out her bow and shot one up in the air, as Miyaizo came from behind, ready to impale her with his claw. But she picked up Shino's staff and launched up in the air as it knocked. It knocked and ricocheted her arrow that split through Miyaizo's head. As he collapsed, Miyaizo, Gozu shouted, You bitch, I'll kill you! He picked himself up in pain, but something drove right through him as he looked down to see the point of Shino's spear. Like I said, I expected Chunin 11 shinobis to be more of a challenge, said Shino. The spear tip break away back into earth as Shino placed it back on his back. Meanwhile, hidden shadow snakes, said Uncle. Zabuza cursed as he was ensnared. He had several cuts over his body despite him having that massive cleaver blade. This bitch was just so slippery and fast, and not to mention Kakashi. He cursed as he realized he couldn't get away. "Now, Uncle yelled. As Kakashi leaped forward, "Lightning blade," he said as he drove it directly through Zabuza. Zabuza coughed up blood. "I didn't think it would end like this," he said. Kakashi pulled out his arm as Zabuza fell, with a thud. Meanwhile, in the ice mirror, fire style, fireball jutsu, as Sasuke launched a fire style towards the ice. But to his surprise, it did not melt, not even a single scorch mark. These mirrors cannot be burned or broken by simple jutsu. As I said, you will die here. Senbon needles started to fly from multiple directions. As Naruto chakra tails came out and blocked almost every needle aimed towards him. Sasuke was having a harder time as he blocked and dodged, but he was hit every now and then. "It seems your tails are fast enough to block my attacks. Why do you not help or protect your comrade though?" Haku asks. "I'm not his babysitter, but I've had enough of you," said Naruto. His chakra arms came out and formed until they were the size of sledgehammers. They then started to spin as they shot forward. Right when they were about to reach the mirror, they split into dozens as they burst through the mirrors. Haku was forcefully ejected and thrown back. The chakra arms merged back into one and shot forward and grabbed Haku before he could even move, and pressed him in the ground. As Haku could not get up, Naruto stepped towards him slowly. "I have lost. A broken tool is not needed. Kill me," Haku said, as he could not move an inch. "My pleasure," said Naruto, as Naruto created another chakra arm that turned into a blade and he sliced Haku from the head, going down. As Haku's body split into two pieces, as blood splattered on him as he smirked. "It's been too long since I killed someone that doesn't poof away at the good part." Sasuke was frightened. He didn't actually expect Naruto to kill Haku, and the look on his face after he did it frightened Sasuke. He had flashbacks of the night his family was murdered as he saw the blood pool. "Why did you kill him?" Sasuke said. "He asked me to, and plus, he's our enemy." "But he was defenseless," said Sasuke. "Are you dense?" said Naruto. "He has a Kekkei Genkai that allows him to form ice, mainly using water, and we're above a body of water. He would never be defenseless." "Why does it bother you I kill him?" said Naruto. Said Sasuke as he walked away. "Well, the enemy has all been eliminated. What about Gato?" Tazuna asks. "Where is he?" Anko asks. "He stays in a mansion on the other side of the island," said Tazuna. "Leave that to us, Team 8. Let us go." "Wait, we're going too," said Kakashi. "No, your mission is to guard the bridge builder. Plus we can't leave survivors. It's your team, ready to kill." Kakashi sighed as he shook his head. "What are you talking about, Sensei? We're just as ready as your team," said Kiba. "There's a huge difference between talking and doing, Inazaka," said Naruto. "Enough, Team 8. Let us go," said Uncle, as they move out. It didn't take them that long. "Hinata," Uncle whispered, as she scanned the air and relayed everything to her sensei. She then pulled out her bow, as she fired off 2 arrows quickly. Both of the guards fell like flies. "Let's move," as they moved towards the foot of the door. Naruto went through hand sign wind style. Great breakthrough. The doors were blasted open. The group rushed inside. Once they did, a lot of men, a real lot, filled the entire area. Clapping was heard from the top of the staircase as they glanced up to see the short bastard Gato. "Well, I must say not many people would risk coming to my home like you. I'm impressed. You all got guts, and seeing that you're alive. Zabuza and his man are dead." "Well, I'm glad. He was asking for too much money, and besides, he's rather pathetic seeing that he lost to you." "Well, alright boys, the man that can bring me their heads will be rewarded nicely." All of the men started to yell in happiness, but Shino went through hand sign, Earth style. "Rising stone spears," he said, as he slammed both palms on the ground as he spread his chakra around. The ground shifted as Earth spears shot out, impaling dozens at a time. Hinata went through hand sign, water style. Exploding water shockwave, she said, as she gathered and swept away multiple people with the water. But it didn't harm them as much as what Shino did. So you got us wet. What's that supposed to do? She hopped on top of the water, as her feet glowed with chocolate. I needed it, she said, as she started skating on the water. Surprising even Uncle by that as she pulled out her bow and spin. Arrows started to fly, as they started to embed through people, one after another. Gato then watched as a red thing started to drop from the sky. This thing was like a beast, as it dropped in the center of his goons, and started to rip them apart as his man tried to run, but arms grabbed them and burst them, and literally tear them from waist to head, ripping them, crushing them. Gato decided to get the hell out of there, so he ran to the back room. He smiled when he realized none of them noticed, as he went down the stairs, quickly making his way until he heard a hissing sound. He turned as something wrapped around him and pinned him down to the ground. It was a snake as he struggled to move. Now where do you think you're going? As Uncle stood above him. Please, don't kill me. I have money, land. I'll give you anything you want. Just name it. Please, he begged. Uncle frowned. I was gonna have some fun with you, but I really hate beggars, she said, as she pulled a kunai and rammed it right into his skull, killing the man rather easily. The moment she returned back to the room, she saw the place was filled with nothing but bodies, as Naruto finished ripping another one to pieces. A smile came on Uncle's face. Mission completed, she said. But guys, if you insist right here, if you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, stay tuned for the rest of what's coming your way over in Making and then Making 3. Yes, I did have 3 channels that I post what ifs on every single day. So stay tuned for those and I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.